Hello everybody and welcome to this week's episode of Your Manchester. How are you?
I'm hot.
It is hot. You've even got hair fever and everything, haven't you?
Absolutely. This weather, what's it all about? I like the Manchester rain, this sun.
We can't complain about the good weather.
I know.
The good weather has brought us a brand new Prime Minister.
Yeah.
We'll forget about that for today though. I want you to all click on the dingle dongle bell and click on the subscribe button. And welcome all to this week's episode of Your Manchester. So, our first guest is doing something absolutely splendid, and it's a film work, isn't it?
Yeah.
And so what is the film all about? Because it is something that relates to our city.
So the film is called The Manchester Story, and it is a positive documentary about the great things done by people connected to the arena bombing back in 2017. I felt I wanted to make the film because I was dissatisfied by the documentaries put out by the major broadcasters. I felt that they only stayed with the horror of the bombing, and of course that is a central point, but I felt that a lot of things were being ignored, and I did some research and I found out about the great things that people like Fegan Murray were doing and Aaron Palmer, and I was like, these stories need to be told. They're only making the Bury Times, for example. I was like, no one's making a documentary about this. I think I could do it.
And you've given us a little clip to show.
Yeah.
So let's show the little clip.
And one humankind, i.e. kind humans, will make the world a better place if we're all more kind to each other and if we reject hate. So my thinking is, if I can persuade young people to be kinder to each other and foster that as a permanent value base, then surely that must be a good thing for the future.
Fegan was amazing to work with, and she's a remarkable woman. She's done so much for so many people. She's trying to change the law to effectively prevent something like Manchester happening again. And she's going to schools, campaigning against extremism. She's going, she's wrote a book about mental health. She did that prior to the bombing as well, and she makes the bears as well. You've got Jordan the bear going all around the world.
Yes.
And she knits those handmade and sells them for charity, and she's just an absolute remarkable human being.
Now, we've seen that sneak preview and we feel really honoured that we've got the first look of it.
Yeah.
But you're midway through this and you need some extra funding, don't you, to get it finished?
Yeah. So this time next week, on Wednesday, July 31st at 6 p.m. precisely, we are setting up an Indiegogo page to fund the rest of the film. And not just that, to get it in cinemas, we're applying for a BBFC rating, which makes it eligible for UK cinema release. And it is our dream to get this story across the country, really, get it out there, not just here, maybe abroad, I don't know, but I'd really just want to get it.
And how much are you hoping to raise?
We've put a target of 8,500.
Okay.
That's to cover everything, to hire equipment, to hire crew and everything, and to, again, get that BBFC rating as, and I think it's doable, and I think it's a story that can, resonate with a lot of people, not just in the city, but I think across the country, of hope at the end of the day.
It sounds like something that shouldn't just be in cinemas. It sounds like something that should get airtime on, your TV channels. So hopefully this will just be the start, that you get that and then somebody picks it up so we can all have a bit of a look at it.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely. It sounds fantastic.
It does. I can't believe you're 21. You're making me ashamed.
And doing something so important as well. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you so much for coming in today. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you. Thank you. Thank you.
So you know what to do. You need to go to that page on the 31st of July at 6 o'clock.
Absolutely. We're having a right good chinwag here, everybody. We're having a right good...
Because I'm always really impressed when we get an author in the studio, because I have this passion of wanting to write a book myself. I've never done it, but David Hatton blooming well has, and it's a brilliant psychological thriller.
It looks fantastic. Now, it's about the medium.
Yes.
Now, I'm guessing you're not referring to the size, you're referring to an actual psychic medium.
Absolutely, yes.
Tell us the story, not the ending.
So a woman goes missing. She's
Right.
married to a absolute atheist. He's Richard Dawkins eat your heart out. He's always been hardcore atheist, and suddenly this psychic knocks at his door and says, "I know where your wife is." And
chilly.
so he's having to battle with his beliefs in science and his desire to find the love of his life, and he's having to open his mind a little bit to an alternative reality.
Did you have to spend time with a medium then to kind of get a bit of research?
Well, I went to see a famous psychic here in Manchester. It's also set here in Manchester as well.
Oh, it's set in Manchester.
Along this very
I can
canal.
see the TV series starting.
I
I can. It's some brilliant Manchester
I could
places.
see Mr. Eccleston playing in there.
6-part series.
Monday Night
Come
Drama.
on. Oh,
Yeah.
Have they got somebody called Belle and Shell in
Yeah.
it?
Could we be in
I can
there?
arrange for that.
I could be the missing wife.
Yeah.
I hope she returns.
What would I be?
You could be the medium.
Yeah.
I've never been a medium. No, then. Oh, lovely.
You'd be like Dolores, eat your heart out from Ghost, wouldn't it? Oh!
She's very eccentric, so.
Is she?
You got your prescription now, I can tell. It's lifting now,
The
isn't
hay
it?
fever drug.
There we go, you can tell.
Anyway, David.
Back to you. So, what's the ending? No, I'm
I'll
joking.
let you find that.
So it's fabulous. And where can we get this?
It's on Amazon. You
Amazon.
can buy it as a paperback or ebook,
Oh, really?
and it's available now.
Do you know what? I'm going to get myself some nice Ritz crackers, a bit of blue cheese, and a nice cup of decaf, and have a read of this.
See a brew and me socks on in bed.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I like a good
I
thriller.
might even put my pashmina on while I read it.
Fantastic.
Do you know what I mean? It might be nice. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank
you,
you.
David Hatton, the medium, out now. Well, we move on to our next guest now, and we are now talking about beautiful theatre.
Oh, it's one of our favourite things, isn't it?
Oh,
And
it's something to do.
we've got the lovely Ben Wilson here.
Ben Wilson, welcome in your glamorous, very glamorous outfit.
Top man.
Top man, yes, you are.
He's got his legs out and everything.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. So tell us about the production that you are doing.
So it's a play called Home, and it was written by my friend Gabriel Stewart, and it is about two 16-year-olds who have a baby and run away together, try and start a new life, and unfortunately life gets in the way. So we're from York, the company, Just Out Theatre. We did a production in Buxton, just idyllic, and now we're moving into gritty Manchester.
Good old Manchester.
Yeah. And then in August we're at the Camden Fringe as well.
I love
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm hearing a lot about this Camden Fringe at the moment.
I know it is. It's
I've never heard about it before, but now I'm hearing about it.
see,
It can't be as good as doing a show up north, though, can it?
No, not at all.
Absolutely, is the right answer.
I'm worried about it.
And where can we see Home then? Whereabouts are you going to be
So
based?
we're performing at Lock 91.
Lovely, nice venue. I
Yeah.
like that.
It's like a cocktail bar.
Yes,
I've just done it
absolutely.
up. That's today and tomorrow, the 24th and 25th at 7 p.m.
It's exciting,
I
isn't
know,
it?
yeah.
Oh God, well you
Yeah,
better get
Yeah,
going.
it's about an hour.
And absolutely.
Are you meant to be there today?
I'm meant to be, yeah.
Oh, you can just keep here for another hour.
I know, yeah, I know. It's nice.
Thanks very much for your time, Ben Wilson. We'll come and watch that.
Gonna send him home now.
Very good. Holy yes! We're not swearing for simple swearing reasons. We are talking about a wonderful play that is coming to the King's Arms, everybody.
Oh God, and he only happens to be here, the writer. How did that happen?
Written, directed.
Written. I co-directed it when we did Edinburgh last year. I
Right.
co-directed that one, but I've kind of stepped back from that this time and just let my.
I love the
so-
title.
Thank you.
I love the use of a good asterisk.
Yeah.
And tell me the story.
So it's a dark comedy about two priests who the church is very underfunded. They've got no money, so they decide the best way that they can make that money is by digging up and selling bodies from the church graveyard.
Oh dear
Church is
Lord.
underfunded. That's a novel idea, isn't it? Hey?
So how are they going to get money for these bodies then?
So they end up selling them, sort of kind of a la Burke and Hare, if you know of those two. They were sort of famous body snatchers in Scotland years ago. There was a film about them a couple of years ago.
Yes, yes, haven't you?
So they end up selling them to a medical college. There's a bit of a crooked medical professor who ends up buying the bodies off them and paying them a bit of money for it so they can sort of fix the church roof and things like that.
Now we've been told that it's truly tasteless. That's what people are describing it as.
Yeah.
Does it do what it says on the tin?
I mean, pretty much. It's a little bit out there. We have a good laugh with it. It's not in a case of sort of it's a bit tongue in cheek with the idea of that these priests are a little bit ridiculous. One of them's been doing it for years. He's been in the game for years. The other's a new priest. He's brand new to the job, and that kind of comes up with a little bit of like a frustration between the two of those two.
3 nights at the
Yes,
as
the Night
well.
of the Kings, yeah. It's part of the Great Manchester Fringe Festival. There's been sort of stuff all the way through July on there. So we're doing the 28th, the 29th and 30th of July.
And how are people going about getting tickets for this?
You can get them on the Great Manchester Fringe website.
Right.
They're all at greatmanchesterfringe.co.uk. They're
Yeah.
all on there. There's all tickets for other shows there as well.
Thank you very much for your time and telling us about this wonderful place.
And please
Simply
come
known
back
as-
and let us know any more things that you're doing.
Just
Thank you very much.
Just
Thank
do me a favour, just tell everybody what the title is again.
Holy sh!
Michelle swore. Ah. Well, you know, some topics just need covering and talking about, and when we do get a serious subject that we do like to talk about, I think it's very important to bring somebody in that knows something about this particular subject. With that in mind, we brought Mr. Carl Austin Behan. Welcome
Hi,
back to
good
our
evening.
studio. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good.
Now, this is just so important. What is it?
Right. So there's a campaign that's come out now. It's called Shine a Light on Suicide, and basically it's to try and break down the stigma of people asking, are they okay, and to sort of find out if people are okay, and to sort of just I mean, I think most of us know people who have taken their own lives, and we can never really work out why they've done that. And there's obviously a reason why they've done it, but then it's all the people that they've left behind. It's the biggest killer of men under the age of 49. In Greater Manchester alone, over 200 people take their lives every year. Within the LGBT community, 1 in 5 of us have tried to take our lives. Wow. And it's just about trying to get people to talk about it, and people to not feel afraid to actually ask people how they're feeling. You know, we see things on people's social media, and you sometimes think, oh, are they okay?
Yeah.
And sometimes you shy away from asking that question, are you okay? Is everything okay? And it is about asking that. It's as simple as that.
I think also on the flip side of the coin, I think we need to generate the attitude where people don't shy away from talking about their feelings. So if you ask somebody whether they're okay, normally the response is, yeah, no, I'm all right.
Exactly.
I think it's important we drill further into it.
Yeah, because it's when you turn around to someone and say, oh, is everything okay? Oh, you don't want to know.
Yeah.
Don't ask. Well, no, I've asked, so tell me.
Yeah.
And I think it's something that we need to really sort of develop, especially with the consequences we've got now with social media. The fact that there's, you know, everyone's putting a filter on their photos, but they're also putting a filter on the status updates to try and live this life that isn't really who they are.
And that they think is the way that people want to perceive them,
Do you think social media has a lot to answer for in terms of that? Because it is kind of that perception that you've got to be like this, you've got to be like that, you've got to put your best self out there.
Yeah, I seriously do. I think, you know, people, I think there was something on Instagram earlier this week that they're going to look at trying to get away from showing how many likes people's pages have. And I think that's a massive step forward, because I think, you know, I speak to people in schools and you speak to people, and it's not about what the picture is, it's not about what the status, it's how many likes it's got, how many shares it's got, and how many retweets.
But going back to kind of the people who are associated with those who have taken their own lives, I think there's an awful lot of guilt there, isn't there, on people, because they're thinking, why didn't I see it? Why didn't I ask them the question? You know, sometimes it's just that nothing is said.
And also, because once someone has left us, who has taken their own lives, there's no way of getting those answers. Even if they've left a note, even if they've left any information, there is absolutely no way that you're going to be able to get over that. And there was something like, for one person who does take their own life, it actually affects at least 130 other people.
So what would you suggest to people if they do figure out that there is an issue with somebody? Would you suggest them tackling and trying to help themselves, or would you suggest that they get in contact with one of these help groups to figure out how they can help the person?
It's interesting, because when I first came upon this, not necessarily the subject, but the actual the campaign, it made me then question myself when I'm seeing people's statuses on Twitter, and you read in certain comments, and it's a case of them saying, look, do you want to meet up? Do you want to meet? You know, is there anything you want to open up about? Is there something you want to talk about? I'll happily meet you in somewhere where we can grab a coffee, and then let's look at the support that you need. And it is about that listening and sort of making sure that that they're being listened to, but then finding the right support, not just listening and then sort of, yeah, thanks very much, but it's actually taking it forward.
People need to start talking and talking more about what they're feeling.
Talking in the right way, because sometimes you could say to somebody, oh, I'm not feeling like, oh, it'll be all right.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's no use, no ornament, is it? Because that person really isn't all right and needs more from you.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank
Always
you for
a
coming.
pleasure.
Absolutely
Great
fantastic.
for coming in.
You really have got lovely knees. Hello, right. We're back now then. We're talking. Normally she's up on a little bean bag, everybody, because she likes being near to a bean.
I
She
know,
does,
I know.
honestly.
And yes, she has got lovely knees. Of course, we're talking about Hale Cartwright.
Hello, you're a guest today.
I know.
And we've got you on as a guest for one simple reason. You is mega busy.
Yeah.
I is mega busy.
50 and Nifty
50
is the
and
first thing that you're kind of maybe wrapping up at the moment.
Yeah, Saturday's our last show of 50 and Nifty, and that's at Moston Arts Centre. I'm not playing over 50 before you.
I was going to say.
I didn't think you possibly could, love.
No.
Over 60? Maybe.
Good job we know each other.
Hey,
So basically, I go in as a laughter yoga instructor.
Sorry, what?
A laughter yoga
I have
instructor.
actually heard of laughter yoga.
Yeah.
What is laughter
It's
yoga?
a real thing. Just don't
Laughter
you?
yoga. I'll tell you what, you can't go on. You can't go on a course to find out about what this amazing character that you're playing. Red Ellen.
I know.
Now, for those who don't know her, don't talk about the play yet. Talk about her. Who is she?
Ellen Wilkinson was the most amazing woman, outstanding political pioneer. She was born in Manchester, actually near Ardwick Green.
What era?
Well, she was actually very well known from the 20s right through to the mid 40s when she died.
Right.
But she was the first female education minister.
Wow.
She brought in free milk for children. She increased the school leaving age to help people out a lot. She came from such a poor background, and she was ill most of her life because they were poverty stricken.
And I believe you're doing a special night. Is it a once a month thing?
It's once a month, and it's called Tongue and Groove. It's the first ever open mic night at Bar Pop on Canal Street, and I'm hosting that as well.
Right.
But it's not just for comedians, because I know a lot of open mics that people think it's just for comedians, but it's for everybody.
It's like Britain's Got Talent, isn't it?
It is. Only Hale is judge. Back on your beanbag next week.
Yeah, back on
Oh,
my
you're not
beanbag.
actually. You're not, because we're from Lyra.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're not here.
And when can we see you as Red?
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, that is on the 17th of August, and it's part of the Peterloo Festival, and it's at Manchester Centre.
Titters, where are you? Come on in,
Come
quick
on,
as you can.
titters.
Swapping over with our titters there. Look at this for organisation.
There we go.
So, titters,
Yes.
we have literally got you here for a few seconds. We are rapidly running out of time. You know.
Absolutely, very
This is
jam-packed
crazy, but you've been jam-packed crazy as well, haven't you?
I had a fantastic weekend, dead busy, and I've done a nice little VT from the Hale Barnes Carnival
Oh,
from
let's
last
take a
Sunday.
look.
Have a look, let's have a look.
It's been years since I've been to a carnival, but last Sunday I attended the Hale Barnes Carnival 2019. Arriving mid-afternoon, along with crowds of young and old enjoying the fast, funfair rides, all giggly and squealy. One of us needed heels to avoid having adult supervision on the dodgems. There were stalls aplenty, Manchester gin, local whisky, and earrings in bottles. Canal Street got a higher billing than Cheshire. Some classic vehicles. A couple of vintage high rollers here. Charity groups such as Macmillan, Oxfam and the Altrincham and Hale Muslim Association were represented. At 4:30 we had the falconry show. From flying owls to bald eagles to peregrine falcons, with time for a little audience participation. There was the magic and illusion of the circus, and all the time a constant list of artists performing on the main stage, all free of charge up to 5 p.m. After 5 p.m, the audiences were paying guests only. We kicked off with the Spandau Ballet Duran Duran tribute act, Rio Gold, performing in bright sunlight, warming up crowds as the audiences started to swell. Next up, we had Dennis from Musical Youth, a fabulous set producing one or two movers and shakers, proving we never lose it. The evening was hotting up nicely, so I nipped over and got a lovely wood burn oven pizza to refuel. Quite delicious. Now every show needs a standout performer. The Engine Room, and that was Nathan Moore of Brother Beyond fame. He was the man. Besides the great voice, his charm and energy and persona, he cranked up the evening to the next level. Good looking, charming and ever youthful, an absolute winner. And finally the headliner himself, Mr. Martin Kemp, pop star, movie star, star of theatre and small screen. He kept the party going a treat. My wing woman, Gillian, never stopped dancing. A most successful day expected to raise over £700,000, which will provide a vital running water supply to a village in Africa. And I'll leave you with the voice, UK's Scarlett Quigley, who probably sums up the evening quite nicely.
Yeah, oh fantastic. You know Nathan Moore from Brother Beyond follows me now on Twitter. Hello Nathan.
That was fantastic, by the way.
Yeah.
It was. I tell you what, it was the top artist for me.
Yeah, you enjoyed it then?
I did, yeah.
Did you throw a pair of knickers at him for me?
No.
He doesn't wear them.
Who doesn't?
Him.
I do.
Oh, right, well, he's not going to take your knickers off and throw them at him, is he?
Well, I give him a pair last week. What have you done to mine?
Collect them.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all we've got time for on this week's episode. But make sure, leave it. Make sure you click and subscribe. And
What's that?
Are they a thong?
Might be.
She's great. Right, so make sure next week you join us because we are doing a special for you. We are all the way from the Lowry. We are going deep, up, above and under.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
It's going to be so
And do you know what?
If the weather stays with us.
It's our 100th show.
100th episode, everybody. So we thought we'd go out and about. But enjoy our...
Take my knickers off for that, shouldn't I?
You're an obsessed woman. You're obsessed. Click on the dingle dongle bell. Click on the subscribe. Thanks to all our guests for watching this week's episode of
Clean your
Manchester.